If you're trying to build a career in tech right now, you are more confused than any generation before you. Some people are telling you AI is going to replace your job before you even finish learning. Others are telling you it's already falling apart. Both of them are showing you real footage. So let's actually figure out what happened. To understand where we are, we have to rewind about a year, because everything confusing you right now started as one very specific chain of events. In late 2025, AI stopped being a chatbot. AI agents could open a code editor, write an entire app, test it, catch their own bugs, and ship it without a human touching the keyboard. The same shift hit video editing and motion design. Agents could cut a video, build the motion graphics, and export a final file from a single sentence. For the first time, it didn't feel like autocomplete. It felt like a coworker. Naturally, the internet lost it. Every other video was some version of "this job is dead by 2026. Founders started saying they didn't need a dev team anymore, and companies started proving it. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, US tech companies cut over 50,000 jobs, and for the first time, AI wasn't a footnote in the layoff announcement, it was the headline. Amazon cut 16,000 corporate roles and said AI would take on the work. But then something strange happened. The same AI that was supposedly unstoppable started producing content that felt off. Websites that all looked the same. Videos with that weird plastic sheen. Code that technically worked but felt bloated and strange. People started calling it AI slop. And for the first time since the hype started, the narrative flipped. Comment sections went from "we're all replaced" to "this is embarrassing." Then, on June 9th, 2026, Anthropic released Claude, Fable, and Mythos, and the goalposts moved again. People who'd written off AI's ceiling a month earlier were suddenly stunned. Independent reporting called Fable 5 the most advanced AI model publicly available at the time, full stop. 3 days later, the U.S. Department of Commerce forced Anthropic to suspend access to Fable and Mythos over export control rules. The most advanced model on the market went dark, not because it failed, but because of policy. And that single event triggered a chain reaction across the entire industry. 48 hours later, Chinese lab Zhipu AI released GLM 5.2, a fully open-weight model, free to download, with no regional restrictions. Independent benchmarks called it the most capable open model available at the time. While the US was still deciding who gets access to frontier AI, China had already handed the world a free download. Then OpenAI hit the same wall. Their new GPT 5.6 family, Sol, Terra, and Luna, was ready in late June. But at the request of the US government, it was held back for a safety review and released only to a small group of partners first. Full public access didn't arrive until July 9th. Almost 2 weeks after Anthropic's models came back online. And in the middle of all this, Moonshot AI dropped Kimi K3, 2.8 trillion parameters, open weight, and by independent testing, competitive with Fable 5 itself. In a matter of weeks, the title of most advanced model in the world changed hands 3 or 4 times. So here's the pattern, stripped of hype. Labs are releasing frontier models every few weeks now, not every few months. Governments are stepping in to control who gets access to the most powerful ones. And companies are still cutting real jobs, tens of thousands of them, while betting AI covers the gap. None of that means your career is over. But it does mean the ground is moving fast enough that just learn to code isn't a complete answer anymore. So if you're studying computer science, teaching yourself to code, or switching into tech right now, here's the real question everyone's actually asking. Do you just buy a bunch of AI subscriptions and learn a prompt? Do you go all in on one specific skill? Or is there an actual roadmap that still makes sense in a world that changes this fast? There's one, and it's not what most become a 6-figure developer videos are telling you. In part 2, I'm laying out the exact roadmap for web development, AI and machine learning, cybersecurity, every major path in software, built for how the industry actually looks right now, not how it looked 2 years ago. Part 2 starts right after this. In part 1, we covered how the AI industry flipped upside down in weeks. Models banned, models released, jobs cut, everyone confused. If you haven't seen that yet, go watch it first. If you have, here's the actual roadmap. Not hype, not just learn to prompt. A real plan, built from what's actually happening in hiring right now. Before specific paths, one mental model that makes everything else make sense. Everything you could learn falls into one of two layers. The foundation layer barely changes. Data structures, algorithms, how networks and databases actually work, how to think through a problem. The tool layer changes constantly. This month's framework, this month's AI model, this month's must-have library. Most confused students are chasing the tool layer and ignoring the foundation layer. Flip that, and most of the confusion disappears. Here's what's actually happening, with real numbers. Entry-level developer postings are down roughly 28% from their 2022 peak. Employment for developers aged 22 to 25 has dropped nearly 20% since late 2022. New graduates now make up only about 7% of hires at major tech companies. That's the bad news, and I'm not going to pretend it isn't real. Here's the rest of it. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics still projects 15% growth in software development roles through 2034, over 100,000 new jobs a year. Senior and specialized roles, AI, security, data, platform engineering, are still in strong demand with rising pay. The market didn't collapse. It split. Which side of that split you end up on depends on what you do next. So here's the one skill that matters no matter which path you choose. It's not knowing how to code anymore. AI can write code. What companies are actually hiring for is what researchers are calling AI collaboration intelligence. The ability to direct an AI agent, catch what it gets wrong, validate its output, and explain your reasoning. You're not competing with AI for the job. You're being hired to be the person who's better at using it than everyone else applying. Track 1, Web Development. This is the most crowded entry point, so generic tutorials won't cut it anymore. The roadmap: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript fundamentals first, not frameworks, fundamentals. Then go deep on one modern framework, React or Next.js, rather than shallow on 5. Learn backend basics, databases, APIs, authentication. Then, the part most courses skip, learn to build AI features into applications, not just use AI to write applications. Chatbots, agents, retrieval search. That's the actual differentiator now, because I can build a to-do app doesn't compete anymore, but I can build a to-do app with an AI agent that manages your tasks does. Track 2, AI and machine learning. This is the fastest growing field in tech right now. Postings up around 70% year over year in the US, but it's also the most misunderstood. Most of that demand isn't for people who can write a prompt. It's for applied AI engineers who can build real systems, retrieval pipelines, agentic workflows, evaluation frameworks. The roadmap: Python first, always. Then statistics and the actual math. Not to become a researcher, but because you can't debug what you don't understand. Then pick one specialization instead of trying to learn all of AI, computer vision, NLP, or applied and agentic systems. And build real projects, because most of these roles still expect real experience, not just a certificate. Track 3, Cybersecurity. The field that's actually still hiring aggressively while others cut. There's a global shortage of around 4.8 million cybersecurity professionals, and over 500,000 open roles in the US alone. It's one of the only major tech sectors still hiring above pre-pandemic levels. The roadmap: start with networking and systems fundamentals. You can't secure what you don't understand. Get one foundational certification, like Security Plus, to get past the resume filter. Then specialize. Cloud security and AI system security are the fastest growing niches inside the field itself. Fair warning: entry-level postings often still ask for experience you don't have yet. That's a real problem here. So internships and labs matter more in this track than almost anywhere else. Track 4, Cloud and DevOps. The infrastructure everything else runs on. As companies deploy more AI systems, they need more people who can actually run them reliably at scale. The roadmap: learn one major cloud platform deeply, AWS or Azure, rather than shallow across all three. Learn containers and orchestration. Docker and Kubernetes are close to standard now. Then layer in MLOps, deploying and monitoring AI models in production, because that's the part of the AI boom almost nobody's tutorial is covering yet. So which one do you actually pick? Don't pick based on which one sounds like it pays the most. That number will be different again in a year. Pick based on which roadmap you just heard and thought, okay, that actually sounds interesting to me. Because the people who make it through the boring fundamental stage are the ones who were genuinely curious, not the ones chasing a salary number they saw in a video. Whichever track you picked, here's what to actually do starting today. 1. Build in public. A GitHub full of real, finished projects beats a perfect resume. We linked 100 free tools and repos in an earlier video. That's a genuine starting point. 2. Document your reasoning, not just your output. When you use AI to help build something, keep notes on the decisions you made and why, because that's exactly the judgment employers say they can't find enough of. 3. Ship something small every month instead of one perfect project once a year. Momentum beats perfection in a market moving this fast. The industry is genuinely chaotic right now. That part of part 1 was real. But chaos isn't the same as no path forward. There's a real one. It's just not the one most get-rich-in-tech videos are selling you. If this helped, subscribe. We're breaking down each of these 4 tracks in full, dedicated videos next, starting with the one you're most curious about.